Right. Good morning, M3. How are you guys doing today? Are you guys well? I hope so. I hope you're getting my videos. I'm going to send you another one today. And today we're going to learn about, just double check what we're doing here, the different types of verbs. Okay, verb tenses. So let me get to sharing my screen. Take it from there. Sharing screen. Let's make it a bit bigger. See what's going on. Slideshow. Slideshow again from the beginning. Go. So, good morning, M3. Today we're going to learn about the different types of verbs. Let's start with the passive form of the verb. Okay. So as you can see, what I've got here at the bottom, active voice and a passive voice. Okay. So when you're learning about the verbs, and the tone, and the tense that it comes in, the stress points, that's how we come to realize what it is we're talking about, or how the sentence is formed, what they mean. Okay. So passive form of the verb is a passive voice, right? It tells us what is done to someone or something. The subject is being acted upon. Okay, so you'll have object plus verb plus subject. For example, the house was painted by Anna. All right, so there we have the object, which is the house. Okay, was painted, that's the verb, and then by Anna is the subject. Okay, so again, it tells us what is done to someone or something. So what is done in this sentence now is that the house was painted by Anna. Object, verb, subject. That is a passive voice. I'll give you another example. The students' questions are answered by the teacher. Okay, so the students being the object, questions are answered being the verb by the teacher being the subject. Okay. Then we have another example here. The video was posted online by Ali. Right, so the video being the object, was posted being the verb, online by Ali. So Ali being the subject. Again, object, verb, subject. That is a passive voice. Okay, it's a passive form of the verb. Then we have the difference. There's an active voice, which is a active form of the verb, which tells us what a person or a thing does. Okay, so there's a difference. What a person or a thing does opposed to what is done to someone or something. Okay, so the active voice tells us what a person or a thing does. The subject performs the action on the object. So now it's the object and the subject that gets swapped over. So with the passive voice, we'll talk about the object plus verb, and with the active voice, we'll talk about the subject plus verb plus object. So the subject and the object have been swapped, as you can see. Okay. For example, talking subject, verb, object. Okay. Anna painted the house. Okay, so you see what's happened here now. Instead of the house was painted by, instead of the object first, it's now the subject. So Anna being the subject, painted being the verb, the house being the object. Okay, Anna painted the house. Or another example, the teacher always answers the students' questions. So now we've taken from passive, which was the teacher at the end, subject, right? We've put her in front. So the teacher is the subject, always answers, which is the verb, the student's question. The student being student questions being the object. Okay. Or Ali posted the video online. Again, subject is Ali, posted is the verb, video online. So the object video. Okay. Now it's a difference here with the because the video was posted online. That was the object in front. Passive, and the active is the subject. Okay. Some more here. Let's put this down here. All right, direct object first. Okay, so how do you identify a passive verb? So how do we notice a passive verb? How do we see it in a sentence? How do we know that this is the passive verb? Excuse me. So, direct object first, okay? Again, like what we had over here, it was passive, it's the object first, okay? So, direct object first, passive voice. The papers were graded by the teacher. So there we go. We got the object, graded is the verb, the teacher being the subject at the end, okay? Object, verb, subject. Direct object first. Okay, but now this sentence can be direct object first, and you can break this sentence down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways, okay? And it can still be a passive voice. It's how we use the words. But we'll always put the object first, the verb in the middle, and the subject at the back. But in between that, we can change all the articles, okay? So, the papers had been graded by the teachers. Okay, again, we have the object in front, the papers. Now, instead of were graded, we say had been graded, okay? Still a verb by the teacher, so the subject stays the same. So we're only changing the middle, which is the verb. It stays the verb, but we change the articles that lead up to the verb, okay, to the grading. So we can have it again. The papers, there again, the object, the papers will be graded by the teachers, okay? So there, now we've had were graded, had been graded, and will be graded by the teachers. So all three of these sentences mean the same, but they've just been said differently. And it don't exactly mean, it's like, if I say the papers were graded by the teachers, that's the past tense of a passive voice, okay? If I say the papers had been graded by the teachers, that is the simple past. Simple past that it's a simple past tense and still with the passive voice. Then we say that papers will be graded by the teachers is the future simple future, but it's a simple future tense passive voice, okay? Then we can change it some more. So remember, the main thing you need to remember here is the direct object. Passive verb, object first, subject last, verbs always in the middle, okay? The papers will have been graded by the teachers, okay? Again, now we have will be graded or will have been graded. Objects in the front, right? The subject stays the same. And then there's the last example here. The papers are being, that's present simple. Papers are being graded by the teachers. Now we have were graded by, had been graded by, will be graded by, or have been graded by, or are being graded by the teachers. Okay? And then there's one example for the active voice, which is subject first, object last. Now that sentence changes a little bit. It says the teachers graded the papers. Okay? There's your subject first, active voice, there's your object last. Right. So again, active voice, subject, verb, object. Passive voice, object, verb, subject. Okay? Right. So here are some passive voice in English, some examples, and the different tenses. That's what we're talking about here. The papers were graded, the papers have been graded, the papers will be graded, or the papers have been graded, or the last one is the papers are being graded. Those are the different tenses, okay? So let's have a look here what we have. So we have tense, we have present simple. I do my homework. Active voice, okay? Present continuous. I'm doing my homework. active voice. Okay. And we have the past simple. I did my homework. Active voice. Okay, that's the past simple. Then we have past continuous. I was doing my homework. Also with an active voice. Okay. Then we have the present perfect. I have done my homework. Also with an active voice. And then a past perfect. I had done my homework, active voice. And then a future simple. I will do my homework. Also with an active voice. Okay. I'll read the passive voice now separately with the tenses and then read them together and you can see, hear the difference, okay? All right, so present simple, passive voice. My homework is done, all right? Present continuous, my homework is being done. So it's continuous, it's still happening, it's being done. Past simple, my homework was done, passive voice, okay? Past continuous, my homework was being done. Okay, so it's past continuous. So homework is being done, homework was being done. Okay, that's the present continuous, and then there's the past. Present meaning now, past meaning something that's already happened. Okay, present perfect, my homework has been done. And we have a past perfect. My homework had been done. And then we have the future simple. My homework will be done. All right, those were all with the passive. Now let's read them together. Let's read the tenses, the active, then the passive. Okay? So present simple, active voice. I do my homework. Passive voice, my homework is done. Okay, so I do my homework means I do my homework, I will do my homework. And passive, present simple, my homework is done. I've already done my homework. I've finished it. Okay, present continuous, active voice. I'm doing my homework. Passive, my homework is being done. Okay, so remember it's continuous. So doing means you're still busy with it. Being is also, it's the same. You're still busy with it. It's getting done. It's in the process. Okay. Past simple. So now I'm going to talk about something that's happened already. Active voice, I did my homework. Passive voice, my homework was done. Okay. So we have past continuous. I was doing my homework. We have passive voice. That was the active voice. Now we have passive. My homework was being done. So we have is being done and was being done. Okay, that's for the passive. And then we have I'm doing my homework with the active, and that's a present continuous. And then there's the past. I was doing my homework. Okay, that's the past continuous. Okay, present perfect active voice. I have done my homework. Okay, passive voice. My homework has been done. Okay, past perfect. I had active voice. I had done my homework. Now for passive voice, my homework had been done. Okay. Future simple. Active voice. I will do my homework. I will do my homework. Okay. And then passive voice, future simple. My homework will be done. All right. I hope that makes sense to you guys. If you guys are in my class, you ask me questions, but there's nobody in my class. So I hope you just get the video. All right, moving on to our next. Okay, so here is our worksheet. Okay, I will go through the worksheet with you. We'll give you some clues, but I don't want to give you the answers. Okay, so my class will be asking questions and we could go through it together. Let's go. Passive voice. Okay, so passive voice. What is a passive voice? Exactly. A passive voice is an object plus verb plus subject. Okay, remember that. So rewrite these sentences in the passive voice. So the teacher will punish Tom. So now it's the subject first, okay? That's the sentence. The subject's first, the verb is in the middle, of course, and then the object is at the end. Now we want you to put the object first. Of course, the verb will be in the middle, and you'll have the subject at the end. So as you can see, some of the sentences are made out for you, so you can see what's going on. It's a little easier. So the teacher will punish Tom. Okay, so let's do it now in a passive voice. Tom will be punished by the teacher. Okay. Question 2. They are painting my office today. So there we go. They are painting. So they've gone to they are is the subject. Painting is the verb. And the office being the object. Okay. So we're going to put it as the object first. So we're going to take these words and say my office. Okay. There's the object. Is getting painted today. All right. And remember, when we are writing a spelling for punished, for example, you put the ed when you write your sentence out, you put ed at the end, and they are painting. And instead of painting, we'll put my office will be, my office is getting painted. So ed, painted, ed, you take the ing away. Same with punished, you take the, there you don't take anything away, you just add. Here you take the ing away and you add ed, okay? Daniel, there we go, we've got the subject in front, bought this camera in Japan, okay? So now we want to put the object in front. So we want to put camera in front, okay? So this camera was bought by Daniel in Japan, okay? Mosquitoes were eating me alive. Okay, so now we want to put me being subject in front. So I, instead of me, it's I was eaten by. I was eaten alive by mosquitoes. Okay, so you get the idea here. Okay, let's carry on here. I don't want to give you guys the answers now. From 5, you're going to figure it out. I'll do the last one, and then I'm just going to read them to you, and you're going to put them in order. Okay, so 5. The children had made many promises. So now we want to go promises in front, because we don't want we want the subject in front, okay? So many promises were made by the children, okay? Okay, now I'm just going to read these for you, and you're going to do the rest. Tom, number 6. Tom should accept our offer. Okay. Number 7. The price includes breakfast and lunch. 8. The city mayor is going to build a new bridge. Okay, number 9. A British writer will visit our school next week. Okay, number 10, number 10, second last one. We can finish the work in 2 weeks. Okay, and then number 11, scientists in Oxford have found a cure for COVID. All right, so there is some help there with some of the words. Some of the words, as you can see, that help you with the sentences, and then some of them don't have too many words in them, but you should have the idea of we made it through question 5, 1 to 5, and all the other work in between. Okay, so here are some ideas: is, do, doing, did, was, have, has been, were. Okay, there's some, yeah, were, had been, will be, have been, are being. These are all idea articles that will help you to fulfill in some of these sentences. Okay. All right, guys, you're going to have a lovely day. I will post this now on the group. And hopefully we will be back at school soon. All right. Bye-bye, guys.